guys, you're welcome to the Emshow. My name is Idafi Matthew Esogene, and I have with me the only person I ever called uncle on international television. And Temisan give me the look, that look. And I mean, he's, for me, one of the best writer and a miracle in talking sports. That's how I look at him like, this guy stutters now. Why does he talk this good? You know, when I came to Lagos, him and his team were the people I listened to. I'm a very critical listener, so they were the people I listened to, and they were the people who made me fall in love with Sterling Bank. Sterling Bank should be paying you people one customer bank way back in the day. You know, the Sports Vision crew, and he's also been my mentor. He's guided me, called me on occasions and told me, guy, not be so that they do, and I so they do. You know, he's taught me a whole lot of things, tricks and flicks that have made me a better man and a better person in the industry. Have with me on the show today, the great, the ubiquitous, the enigma in sports, Uncle Akinbode Oguntuyi. I have the chance to call you this time. I'm not bothered. I'm not worried about NBC rule or anything. You're welcome to the Emshow, sir.
Good morning. It's a pleasure.
Well, it's good to know that the pool of players we have, there are some trouble area, but right now we have Joe Aribo, we have Wilfred Ndidi. It's going to be almost difficult for the two of them to be out at the same time. True. It's been long we have a deep lying midfielder in the mold of Olise. I've not seen Joe Aribo spread passes like Olise, but his confidence on the ball is interesting. Wilfred Ndidi is not a great passer of the ball, but he's a good. He breaks play a lot. So if you put those two together, and then one of the missing link is actually the creative man. Alex Iwobi is not my guy, but he's full of running, and he will mature. When he plays, it reminds me of certain players that I saw playing in my day, and I'm like, okay, if he's committed to it, he will mature. And if he matures, it'll be good. Although he doesn't stretch passes, and now we're not losing that talk of, oh, we need another Okocha, we need another Lisa, because we have these players built in this form. But having said that, you touched something. The last World Cup, FIFA gave out £600 million to clubs whose players represented different countries at the World Cup. And I mean, it's only the goalkeeper that was in the squad. Okay, our league, before Amaju came into power, our quota system disrupted the work that the great, I use the word the great Olukarabo was doing.
No, see, I agree with you. Look, Olukarabo was excellent for the league. But, you know, one of the tragedies of Nigeria is that when people like that with vision, when they show up, the system just throttles them. Because I had a conversation with him before I think it was the second season, when he said, look, buddy, when CAF and FIFA came up with this financial
licensing team.
Yes,
club licensing,
and he said, look, this is what we want to follow. I think it's only 3 teams that can meet it. Let them go and play. And I said, okay, let's go for it. But I also think this thing you are saying is good, but when the governor starts making phone calls to the presidency and to that somebody wants to stop their team from playing, we shall see. And that's what happened. They didn't allow that thing to work, and we are back to square zero.
Okay, so the question I wanted to ask, Shehu Diko, without a pedigree in football, I say it everywhere, and people say, I don't have respect for him in football. It's not like I have anything personal with him, but I just think he's the typical example of square pegs in round hole. He doesn't understand football, doesn't know anything. So he get excited over the things that he shouldn't be excited about. He show up in places where he shouldn't be. That's why you have the wrong man in the room. Every family have one, so they say, and this is our own. Is it not possible for the 20 clubs in the league to come out and say, look, we know where we were before you came in. It's not working. Still stay on the board, but let somebody else drive the ship. Because the way the LMC is set up, when they move from league management committee to league management company, the 20 clubs have the right to vote in who lead them and who does not lead them. At what point should the clubs come out and say, no, let's pass a vote of no confidence on this man. Bring in any other person. It could be Mikey Doko, it could be you, it could be anybody, but somebody who can at least direct the ship of state a bit. Is it not possible?
They should have done that 2 years ago. You're asking me at what time?
Yeah.
2 years ago. But you see, the problem is that our football has been so politicized. For instance, why was Ndu Karabo removed as chairman of the LMC.
No, they say Amaju is now the NFF president, and Ndu Karabo and Amaju are from Delta State.
Exactly.
So the two of them cannot come from the same place.
Exactly. See, now you understand. The Afro has been so politicized that even those people that you call the club owners or club administrators, because they are not owners, the administrators, all of them have in pidgin. They're not shit for church.
Yeah.
And so it's difficult for them to come together and they will never agree, never get a consensus. And that's the tragedy of our football. Because look, ordinarily, it's something that I should have met and decided on one time. But because the NFL has been politicized, the LMC has been politicized, and the club representatives have also been one way or the other. They're not put hand inside something where they're not supposed.
Where they're not supposed.
And so it's not going to happen. You talked about the ideal. Because this is 2019. When the league was
Before we got to the bridge.
When the league was abridged last year, it was like, oh, we want to start with European
season. With the European season. And I remember saying, the people driving this league not get the intellect to do it. That's how they like.
Now, we now want to run the league from October to May next year. And they say it's going to be the full league.
It's not going to work.
And the FA Cup, it will be somewhere in there. Look, and these players are supposed to perform what? Magic. Without the requisite medical support to keep them fresh for playing weekend and weekdays.
And considering the geography of
the
size,
geography and the logistics from one match center to the other. We're joking.
Now, you just mentioned the FA Cup, and it's my recent cup of tea. Let me come to Sports Vision, because when I set up this place, the company that I have in mind is like, I want to have my own organization like Sports Vision. When I left radio, one of the things that I took home from my former boss, Larry Zamoje, was the fact that he always told us how you can do this job without depending on brand envelope. You know what I mean? And I look at the entire Sports Vision crew. God bless you, Uncle Deji Tinubu, yourself, the Jomoto Ibo, Uncle Chola Ikpeku, and all of the other people and the guys you've groomed. Have you guys been able to do it that, we hear things, people speak. We know the people who do the wrong things, and we know the people. And everywhere, every corner we turn, the Jomoto Ibo, he's a good man in the industry. But Oguntuyi is a good man in the industry. Is it that you guys entered into a pact, or is it that you guys already saved money somewhere? You have sponsors. How is it that you guys were able to keep a clean slate?
First off, you mentioned the Tinubu. That's one very straight guy. I think it stems from our different upbringings, the three of us. We just happen to be at the right place at the right time. I mean, the two they set up Sport Vision.
Yeah.
It was my basketball and my Nigerian league that forced them to drag me in. Most people don't know that the first edition of 90 minutes was without myself.
Yeah.
But somebody said, how can people do a roundup of Nigerian league, of football, weekend football without putting Nigerian league? So they said, oh, so who can we get? Why are we asking?
We know.
So they came looking for me.
Yes.
And then I think a year later they got the rights to the basketball World Cup, and of course they came back to me again. So that's how we became partners. I think I work with Mumuni Alao.
Yeah.
And that's another person that is as straight as an arrow. So working with people like that, and of course Molake Aboduni. These are people that I work with at Complete Communications, who I know they took professionalism seriously. And one thing I can guarantee you, if you want to take pride in your work, you won't get involved with any shady things, because you can't do both. You can't do excellent work and compromise yourself. It's either you compromise yourself and face it, or you do good work and face it. And I can tell that both are, how do I put it? Both are infectious. Once you pick one, you stick with it.
In the side you people picked, I'm trying to pick it. And there's this comment you always hear. I mean, man go eat too. You get school fees to pay, rent to pay. And there's this comment you always hear from people who are supposed to be supposedly senior colleagues, the word editor always come to mind. Like, if you continue like this, you're not going to fit job for this industry. You're not going to live well. How have you guys been able? Because you're living well. You are an evidence of somebody who's living well. Like,
Thank you.
And I see Akinbode, every one of you guys, you're living well. How have you guys been able to do it?
The truth is, we have our challenges. But, you know, I learned something a long time ago that life is a cycle.
Yeah.
You make money, and then you're not making money, then you make money again. You mentioned one of our sponsors when I worked in Sterling Bank. And the truth is, before Sterling Bank came, in fact, let me tell you a story. I think it was the 2004 Nations Cup. Towards the end of 2003, around June, July, we are so broke, there was so money, there was no income from anywhere. And we are wondering.
We're there now. We are there.
Where will the next money come from? And I just we got a phone call from MTN. MTN wanted to do a run-up to the Nations Cup. And they wanted something unique. They said, come up with something unique and we'll back you up. And so we started thinking. And then they wanted to come up with the idea of interviewing Shegun Odegbami for 13 weeks. Come and tell us your Nations Cup stories. And they loved the idea. And so for 13 weeks, leading to the Nations Cup, Odegbami was giving us stories from national team from Nations Cup, and they paid us, I think, at that time, it was 7 or 8 million. We paid Odegbami, we paid the studio, they put it on air, and we made good money for Christmas. And we are happy. Nations Cup was about to start. We thought we had made the money and we are happy. You had like 1 million, 2 million in the bank at that time. And then another company came up and said, look, what can you give us for Nations Cup that can sell? Nkechi Obi was there with us at market. And Nkechi now said, why don't we put Nations Cup on NTA News? How? So we branded the person that works for the NTA at that time, 5-minute segments to read Nations Cup news, and there's someone to analyze. Those 5 minutes done in the sports section of NTA News. We paid NTA for that, and they paid another money, heavy one. Now that I buy new motor. So sometimes you just get a break. But then there are also the other stories that there are also stories of almost. Remember that 2-2 draw? Nigeria played against Guinea.
Yeah.
That cost us almost 60 million. How? We had a meeting with the company, and they said, look, once we win this game, we are going to do daily show up to Nations Cup and then through Nations Cup. Like 60 days, 2 months of continuous sponsorship. Almost 60 million naira. We went, it was all signed, we agreed. If we complete 2-2 draw, we don't go Nations Cup. Hey, my brother, that's one, I never recover. Look, every time I go,
how do you recover from that?
I go see the money. And so there are highs and there are lows, and then there are times that but in all, if you cut your coat according to your clothes, not according to your size,
no.
You know, some people at that time, my children must go to this school. Oh, I must drive this kind of car. You know, go last. I think that's where a lot of people miss it. Live a lifestyle. Look, like this is one thing they just say every time. If you have 100 million, you have 10 million. And if you have 1 billion, if you have 100 million, you live the same lifestyle now. You don't need all that money, and it's true. My wife asked me sometimes, how can you live that with 5,000 naira in your pocket? Which I won't do. The money saved now for emergency. I feel take carry and go bring and come back house. You know, where people get wrong is when they feel that you have to live up to the hype. Oh, you are ELEGBETE, everybody don't know you now. You are a big man, you must ride Benz. Oh boy, now one chance. So no matter how big you think you are, you should understand that you're a human being and you are limited. And resources don't flow every time. Even if they do, there are things you can use them for, apart from flexing, as they call it. You'll be fine. You don't need to get into all those things that people get into. You have been talking about how many times have you seen me money allowed spending money at party?
I don't think anyone knows that.
Have you ever seen him in a gossip magazine?
No.
No. And the man is one of the biggest people I know in this industry. And the man is fine.
You know the funny thing is, I got into ITV December 3rd. God bless the Messiah for me every day of my life. It wasn't something I deserved. I just finished with Al Jazeera and we met at the National Stadium. And by 8th of December 2008, I met Uncle Deji Omotoyibo for the very first time. And then he called me, said, Edafe, I've been hearing you're crazy on radio. And he said something to me. He said, you just repeated it now. He said, don't ever get caught up in the hype. Remember that everybody think that you are as rich as you are popular, but you know the truth. Live with that truth.
That truth too.
Don't
follow them.
Live with the hype, because that's what will destroy you. And he was telling me that same thing with Biola Kazim and Bada Akinbode Johnson. And I think it's one of the best advice anybody ever gave me in this industry. And it has guided me. I remember when I wanted to wed, and he called me, saying, I know you're planning your wedding. I heard, you didn't tell me, we're coming. And he came anyway. And he said, your wedding will not be the best, and it will not be the worst.
Abi?
The greatest advantage you have is your wedding the same time they are doing the royal wedding. So let the royal wedding take the shine. Do according to your budget and take your wife home.
My brother, that's the key. Just forget the hype. Forget the hype and just live within your means, and you'll be fine. The popularity is good because it helps. I was on a flight with my family to England one day, and I got to the airport. Mr. Oguntuyi, and they helped me checking. I was like, my wife, they look, me said, they look. Then I didn't know me, I don't know them. And then I got on the flight, and one guy came to me and said, Mr. Oguntuyi, you're Heathrow, right? And he handed me 4 express cards. He said, don't care, just go express. So sometimes you get those perks, which is fine. It doesn't, they didn't cost me anything. So those are fine. But hey.
It's good that I have people who always guide me in this industry. And I really feel if we have to talk, we'll talk till the cameras were born. But unfortunately, this is where we were ended. But I want to touch on this matter. Imama Mapakabo came out. Imama is my teammate, my senior, my captain, and my very good friend. And Imama is the kind of guy, I've known him for a very long time. Imama is the kind of guy who will tell you something the way he sees it. The same way I am. We are not always right. But when Imama came out and said that thing that Nigerian players are very difficult to teach, and the coaches and all that. And I've said that to about a lot of today's Nigerian coaches. There was a time when we had great coaches: Godfrey Esu, Zakari Baraji, Kadri Kana, Joe Eriku, Godwin Izilie, Philip Wama. Those coaches were coaches who understand. Coach Patrick Paul Obiri in Warri, he was with John Betty Vokes. All of these coaches understand football. And my grandpa in coaching, Monday Sinclair. But then we start having these coaches who are like today's pastors. There was a time my mom said something about pastors. Not all, but most people who fail WAEC will just say God don't call them. And she used to tell me that thing. That make I know yes, say God call you. You better go to school. Maybe when you don't fail exam, you can't say God call you. And that's what coaching is about today. Oh, I was walking past the field and I saw some people playing football. I'm not a coach. And then they go to that moribund NIS and get one degree that is so obsolete, and they say they are coaches, and then they come to coach teams. They can't even teach them the basics. So I think it's on the basis of that Imama came out with that comment, and you exploded. My first reaction was, Imama, these players are not good. You won a league with these players.
Yep.
And
I said that's in my article.
No, they are not good. Yeah, I read it in your article too. But do you think it was wrong for him to say it, considering the fact that we truly have lack of technically gifted players? The Dukudis of this world, the Tagoye, the players that used to play football in my time, they're not there anymore.
You know what? I think I felt that statement was condescending. See, there are a lot of things wrong with our league, and sometimes those things. I'm sure during your time too, because when I was covering the league, I know that some star players will not go to away games.
No.
Because they don't say you're not win.
You're not win. You want to go to Boko, Meduguri, Katsina, Apeaku, where you want win?
I won't win. So sometimes that mentality starts affecting the way they play football. Look, we just talked about journalists now. Sometimes when you know that if you bring your best story, somebody's going to kill it. What's the point? If you're not mentally strong enough, just say if you can't beat them, join them. And so, looking at all of that, the Nigerian situation is peculiar. Very, very. A lot of coaches know. I'm sure you have heard of coaches who have told their governors, okay, bring money. If you don't win this league, bring money.
You're talking governors. I was the one running Baba Nawa Football Club. Our coach will tell you straight that this match, We'll give them balamo. If not, even referees will come. I go to welcome them. Say, Alpha, where my allowance? Where my sheribe? And I'm like, I'm not giving you money. For our home game, I'm talking home game.
Your home game.
I'm not giving you money. Blow anything you want to blow. I have the players that win it. And there's this trick I always use on the players then. I'll tell them, guys, this is the money. The money was always in dollars. I'll tell them, I said, this is your money. I'll change it for you guys if you win it. Because we're second promotion that time. If you win it, this is your money. If you don't, referee will take the money. So they have to make a choice. At the beginning, I tell them, you either choose for me to be paying the referees to win, or you choose to take the money and you win the game.
That's a good tactic, guys. But a lot of other people, they just fall into they just fall in and log into the rut, and that's what is so deep. I think it's simplistic to say people are not teachable. It's not that they're not teachable; they're just not interested, because the system does not allow them to express themselves. Look, I enjoy watching. You mentioned Dukudi. I enjoy watching Dukudi's teams. I enjoy watching Imama's teams. I enjoy watching Gbega Ogunbote, his team, the kind of cadre. Because when you go there, you see the coaching.
Yes, so I will coach you.
So when you tell me that the Nigerian players are not teachable, I'm like, excuse you. It depends on who we are talking to. It depends on what you are seeing. So I felt that statement was simplistic, and I felt it was which word I used before.
Condescending.
So yeah, condescending. To say you can't say that when you yourself know what is going on. That's my problem. It's not that he wasn't correct in some ways, but my problem is that he just took one thing and blew it up without not thinking about the other things that factors that led to it.
Well, I hope Imama, after losing the second leg, he would realize his mistake. We all make mistakes. I say that all the time. We all make mistakes.
I still like him, by the way. He's one of my favorite coaches.
Mama is my favorite coach. He's my guy any day, anytime. And thank you very much for coming on the show and sharing your wisdom, your experience with us. I hope that those who would watch this and see it would learn one or two things from this. And I hope when we call you again, you come again and teach us. We're hoping very soon to have some people learn the act of journalism. We're still trying to get that going. And you are the resource people that we hope to bring across. I hope you'll be here for us.
I will be.
Thank you very much.
It's been fun.
Thank you very much.